Hi, I hope you're having a great day. This video will show you how to prepare, splice, and install NAP or Network Access Point Closure. NAP closure is where our second level splitter is housed. This is the demarcation endpoint of home pass. Our sample closure on this video is a Huawei product with model FAT2131SD, which is typically used by both Globe Telecom and PLDT's FTTH projects. We assume here that the NAP box we are about to install is an end of aerial NAP, meaning there is no branching cable coming out from it, or there is no adjacent NAP to be installed next to it. Let's start by preparing the cable. Put a tape mark 1.5 meters long from the tip. This length of cable is what we need to be stripped out and to be terminated on the closure. Strip the cable with the aid of cutter blade 8 inches from the tip. Pull and remove that 8 inches outer sheet of the cable. Look for the ripcord on the cable. In this case, it's colored red. Pull ripcord until it reaches the tape mark. Separate the outer sheet of the cable. Using flat screw, carefully move out buffer tubes from the outer sheet of the cable. Pull the rest of the cable sheet to be removed. Don't pull from the fiber loose tubes as it may stress the fiber and may tend to break. Cut and remove loose tubes binding yarns. Separate the strengthening member from the loose tubes. Cut the strengthening member 7 cm from the marking tape. Wrap up the cable with insulating tape. This is a supporting skin upon securing metallic saddles around the cable sheet. This is the ADSS, or all dielectric self-support cable structure looks like. Start unboxing the NAP closure. These are the accessories that the box contains: closure keys, cable tie, buffer tube hose, gray or rubber tape, splice leads, tocks and screw. The tocks and screw is used only when the NAP box is to be wall mounted. Open the NAP box using the keys provided. This is how the box looks like. The millimeter dimensions of this box is 328 height, 258 width, and 82 depth. Its weight is 1.5 kilograms. This closure has a splicing capacity of 28 cores and a termination capacity of 16 units. It can contain 4 pieces of 1:4 splitter, or 2 pieces of 1:8 splitter, or 1 piece 1:16 splitter. Protection level is rated as IP65, meaning dust resistance and water repellent. This closure has 3 holes for 9 to 17 mm diameter optical cable inlet and outlet. Put rubber tape on the cable port. Insert and secure cable. Loosen screw of the straight member holder. Put clay or rubber tape around the cable mark. The rubber tape provided is enough to protect 3 cables. Insert strengthening member on its holder and tighten screw. Mount cable port support by tightening up its screws. Secure metallic saddles around the cable sheet. Remove cable gel fillings from the buffer tube. Wipe it with clean cloth. Isolate the blue buffer tube that will be utilized for the nap. Cut excess strengthening member. Accommodate or coil the remaining excess buffer tubes which will not be used at the loop holder provision at the bottom of the closure. Fix the loop with cable ties. Measure a length of buffer tube hose enough to reach the splicing trace. Cut the buffer tube hose in a slanting manner so that it can be easily inserted to the tape. Strip the blue buffer tube. Remove the buffer tube sheath. Insert buffer tube hose to the fiber. Make sure to insert the slanted part of the buffer tube hose first to the core fibers. The pointed shape hose will ease its movement to follow the buffer tube path until it reaches the tape. Separate the fiber that will be utilized. On this example, we will use the fiber color green and brown. This nap contains two pieces of 1:8 splitter. That means fiber color green will be spliced onto 1:8 splitter and fiber color brown will be spliced on another 1:8 splitter. A Globe Telecom nap box gives a total of 16 ports. Secure route of the fiber with hose to the splicing tray using cable ties. Make sure that the fiber splicing tray can be closed properly without kink or twisting the fibers with tube hose. Strip fiber tube color green. Clean the bare fiber with tissue and alcohol. Make sure that when you wipe the fiber, it makes a squeaky sound which signifies a clean fiber. Cut excess fiber core 10 mm from the fiber tube using a fiber cleaver. A cleaver is a mechanical precision device whose task is to cleave the end of an optical fiber so that the cleavage surface was as flat as possible and if possible at 90-degree angle to the fiber itself. Set the cleaved fiber to the splicing machine. Insert splice sleeve to the splitter pigtail. Strip the tube and remove covering. Clean the bare fiber with tissue and alcohol. Cut excess fiber core 10 mm from the fiber tube using a fiber cleaver. Set the pigtail core to the splicing machine. Operate and initiate fiber jointing or splicing to the splicing machine. Acceptable splicing loss is 0.5 dB maximum. Move the splice sleeve onto the splice point. Put the splice point with sleeve onto the splicing machine oven. This is to shrink in the splice sleeve material to the bare fiber. The red light indicator turns off once the splice sleeve shrinking is completed. Do the same preparation and splicing for the brown tube fiber. Arrange splitter pigtail coil onto the fiber tray. The splitter itself is a pre-mounted or factory terminated on-nap box cassette. Insert splice core with sleeve onto the splicing tray. Chrome the fiber core onto the loop holder. Make sure to avoid microbend. This happens when the looping of the fiber gets choked or had very small diameter loop. If you close the splicing tray, notice that the fiber tube hose doesn't move from its place or it doesn't get twisted. This is why the buffer tube hose is essential in protecting the bare fiber. Close the fiber closure cover once we are done on splicing. We put stencil or markings on the nap closure cover before mounting on the pole. Nap closure is named uniquely according to its assigned OLT name, a 3-letter code, assigned LCP number, and its own nap number. Sticker machine cutouts is prepared to get a better output of stencil. Protect the remaining box skin from excess stain from paint with aluminum foil or masking tape. Spray a quick dry enamel paint at least 2 coats. Let it dry before removing its covering protection. Mount the nap boxes on the pole with 2 stainless straps. Put 7 bridle rings as marked on the installation guidelines. Provision maintenance loop with 400 mm diameters fixed with 4 cable tie wraps. These are pictures of nap boxes taken on site. This ends our video presentation. I hope you enjoyed and learned. Thank you for watching.